Hello, this is Hui-Wen, and today I would like to share about my project Nature Nurtures. With all the recent happenings, I realized it might be apt that we start to define new paradigms of relationships and how architecture can participate. Maybe as we start to question our existing threshold between nature and architecture, we learn to embrace it as part of our lives and hopefully care more deeply about our environment. Our studio topics often revolve around such sustainable issues, and we try to incorporate these values into our projects. Our project last semester with the studio mainly centered along Eveley Road. There was a week on the theme of festivals, while some other weeks encouraged a greater emphasis on more hands-on approach with physical models to develop our designs. Throughout my projects, I explored the recurring theme of using nature to break down boundaries, and I believe there is much more value that nature can bring into reconciling the problems we face in the world. The main purpose of my project is to allow for us to reconnect with nature and acknowledge its presence as a necessity for all. Our existing architecture has been created to protect us from nature, but it has also caused us to become detached. I hope that architecture can help to blur these boundaries to help us learn to appreciate its importance in our ecosystem. There are so many reasons to why our relationship with nature needs to be established, both emotionally and physically, especially so when our state of mind is pivotal in our pursuit for happiness and satisfaction. I started by observing what happens in the natural world and to see if such relationships can be applied between humans and architecture. I had picked a site with certain characteristics, such as its proximity to nature and having a diverse group of people and functions.
Oh! He's got a shot, but.
Nature grows well without human intervention in abandoned places. Ironically, I start to find similarities between scrapyard pieces and nature in a way that this messy chaos may be where distinctions between items, places seemingly disintegrate and blend together. Could we blur the boundaries between the different functions? I wanted to utilize a kind of living material for my project where bacteria can be building materials that eventually live together with us. This has been a source of inspiration towards the organic forms that indiscriminate the floor, wall, and roof. I had hoped to achieve similar spatial experiences where surfaces continues from the interior to the exterior in a discrete manner. These are the initial vision images I created before designing my actual architecture. The journey linking two or more functions is like an exploration through light and dark, with an eventual feeling of discovery. Parts of the living concrete structure can be exposed to decrease the overall mass while at the same time allowing nature to occupy these areas that the material did not cover. The current site presents an opportunity to utilize the recreation ground to make connections. The scrapyard is moved as it creates ecological and sound impact to its surroundings. The proposal brings about increased links and mixed activities for improved relationships between human, nature, and its context. These sketches explore the porosity of spaces and where to leave the structure exposed for plants and visual connectivity. Lives at home can be different when architecture and nature can open new pathways for connectivity and cohabitation with living organisms apart from ourselves. This is a side view of the proposal where some part of the architecture is hidden in the trees while others break through and reach to other areas. The residential linkway here is designed in a way to encourage residents to spend more time outdoors. More importantly, the living concrete can have the ability to store heat both in the summer and winter so that it can be released later at night when it's cooler. This creates an undulating and flowing surface for children, or a learning space that transforms its mood in the day to the night. The architecture breaks through existing classroom walls and let nature creep into the interior spaces and open up the typical four-walled classroom. In the process of the living concrete entering the classroom, it creates chances for wildlife to also coexist along the walls. The second detail tests the connection between the existing roof of the school and the proposed intervention, the makeup of the material, and how cotton rebars are connected to the window wooden frame. The construction process is an adaptation from that of beanie shells and ferrocement process, when inflated formwork is used as a support before rebar and wire mesh is built. With such an organic, free-flowing shape, I wanted to analyze its performance. I adapted the original properties of concrete and changed its compressive strength to that of living concrete. It was shown to have rather low deflection value in general. I presume it performs rather well because of its shape and that helps to transfer loads more evenly, except for a few areas with longer spans where larger thicknesses for support is required. In this clip, you can see how these weaker areas deflect under more intense load stress. The principal tension compression diagram also shows that areas are largely in compression of which concrete is capable at handling. This plan and section view shows the normal mapping where every angle is displayed in a different color, and these drawings are intended to express the non-flat surfaces that flow throughout the building, creating spaces for occupation. The final imagery of the studio expressed how people and architecture can adopt a very free-form way of movement through architecture with the help of nature. People dance between the trees and across different functions to allow for more organic expression of themselves and for better relationships with their surroundings and environment. I hope my project has allowed for us to imagine how architecture could be perceived in a new manner that welcomes nature and the possibility of how coexistence can improve our entire ecosystem. Thank you.